Hi, my name's Mark Hayward. This is the Absolute Business Mindset podcast, and here are some of my thoughts, ideas, and comments. So I'd like to talk to you today about something that I read about quite some time ago, but I've not talked about it on this podcast. But it's an interesting thing, and I think I would challenge everyone that after you've listened to this, or stop right when I tell you the options and write down what you think, because I think it's an interesting thought to, before I go through anything, to really think about what those things are, and then afterwards, anyway, let's get down to it. Right, so there's parts of your life that everyone has the option or has, and they are work, which could be a business as well. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be exercise, or hobby. Now, you've got those things. I'll repeat that. Work, friends, family, exercise, or hobby. Now, my challenge to you is choose 3 of them and live your life. Right. Hopefully you've stopped that and thought about it. Right. Stop now. Right. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to think about that and make your decision on what those 3 things out of those 5 are, because this article was really interesting. I think it was on LinkedIn. I can't remember who wrote it. I'll have a think about that. But what it was a really interesting concept, because everyone wants everything, don't you? You want the great job, the great family, friends all around all the time. You want to be fit, you want to be healthy, and also want something else part of your life, some interest. Now, the reality of that is, the reason why I stop you and give you this challenge is because not everyone, most people can't have everything. And the moment you realise that, then you start prioritising things. And this is what I want you to think about today, is about the prioritisation of what those important things are. And it's critical, because so much of your life could be taken up on certain things. And my immediate, I'll tell you what mine are. Mine is work, family, and probably exercise. And they're the 3 things that I try and prioritise, because when I was 20 and didn't really have a career or work really that good, I prioritised friends, I prioritised exercise, and I prioritised hobby. And actually, to be honest, I only really prioritise friends and exercise. And this is the thing. When you're younger, you think you can do everything, and you want to have a good family life. Family life evolves the older you get. Initially, when you're a 20-year-old, that's probably your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, cousins, maybe grandparents. But that evolves the older you get. That then becomes children. That becomes wife or husband. And that then evolves into something a lot more. Most people find that meaningful and important. So it can go from something that's not very important to something very, very critical to most people. But the thing is, you go out, you want to party on a Friday night, but equally you want a side hustle, you want a hobby that you want to try and make some money out of, because your job's great, but you'd like to do something different. Then you feel you might want to play football, rugby, cricket, whatever it is, on a regular basis, and train and spend some time doing that. And then you got friends every Friday, Saturday night. You want to go out for drinks. Work's work. You have to do that, and you want a career. You want to be a professional or something like that. That you want to take extra qualifications. And some people in their 20s are able to juggle all of them. But I would say you're probably jeopardising some of them, and some of them are not often, but can be work. Now, you need money, you need to live, you need to have your own house, if possible. You need to rent, if not. And I think the older you get, the less you want everything. I actually think there's a maturity in most people that just go, I don't want everything. What I want is 1, 2, 3. And so let's just go through them. So work. So work can be a job. It can be a career. It can be a business, and in a lot of people's top drawer. Whether that's because they need the money to survive, or whether they want a big career, whether they want to be a lawyer, a partner in a lawyer firm or in a professional services company, CEO, whatever it is. And a lot of people prioritize this because it's got a good future. They want the extra money to, whatever it is, buy the new car, buy the new house, buy the new clothes. And a lot of things stem from work or career or business. So most people will have that as what's important. Friends, as I say, come out of university, you'll have a bunch of friends from university, a bunch of friends from school, a bunch of friends from your new job. So friends pop up all over the shop. There's a slight difference between sort of friends and acquaintances and contacts. They can be basically any of the three. It depends if you want to go out and party. If you want to go out and party, friends are just mates that you go and get drunk with, and sort of socialise with. It doesn't have to get drunk, but you socialise with, and you'll be out late having dinner or going to a club. So many different things that you can do with friends, but that could evolve into contacts. So you might not necessarily want to be friends, but people that you respect, people you invest in, people they invest in you. People who have similar backgrounds can help you change job. There's a whole myriad of friends that you can have with colleagues and contacts. Family, as I've just mentioned earlier, family can evolve from mum, your dad, your brother, sister, grandparents, cousins, aunt and uncle, and it probably becomes more meaningful when you have kids. So that's important. Exercise, right? This is one you should pay attention to. I am not perfect at this. I try and go to the gym 3 times a week. Often it's twice. And weekends are sort of prioritised for my family, so it's sometimes a little bit difficult to get to the gym on weekends. But definitely 9 times out of 10, the CEO of that business has an exercise regime. And therefore, most people who are excellent at their job and their career and their business often prioritise exercise. So I would say try and prioritise exercise is what I would suggest. And then the last one is hobby. And now hobby can be many different things. It can be a collection, stamps, cars. I mean, like toy cars, or it could be the hobby could be collecting film memorabilia, sports memorabilia, signatures, whatever. It could be absolutely anything. So a hobby can be a couple of layers. So you could be just something that you really enjoy doing and you just love doing it. Fair play. So many people don't do things that they love. So I've got no level of criticism on doing something that you love. But equally, a hobby could be something a little bit more purposeful. So a lot of the stuff I've talked about is having a side hustle. And I would definitely suggest when you're younger, when you're at your youngest, to try and think about having a side hustle. Something you enjoy doing. You can do it, 3-5 hours a week. You could, in theory, if you listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, you should be doing your job till 7 o'clock at night, get home, and then 8 till 2, basically do your side hustle, which could be a business, it could be a Amazon business, it could be an eBay business, it could be a website selling, it could be a professional sort of like speaking events or whatever. And basically it's interesting because I think there's an opportunity there for people to move from something that they like doing in their job to something they love doing. And a lot of the stuff that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about is doing something that you absolutely love. I just found something recently on YouTube which is fascinating to me, quite sad fascinating for me is something. There's a game called Football Manager 2019, and it's this hilarious bloke who picks up a non-league team in football. So if you're not into football, you probably won't get this, but have a look at it. Football Manager 2019 on YouTube. There's this guy on there, Kev, and I've just watched a couple of episodes tonight. It's absolutely hilarious. This guy plays a game which is about soccer or football, and he's the manager of a team, and you start at the lowest division, some 9th league, which is just like non-league south or north or whatever. And it's absolutely hilarious because this guy goes into it and he loves what he does. And this is the thing about this. If you love this and you do a lot of them, and he's quite good, he must be quite good at what he does, but he's obsessed with this and plays it and shows the games, does a bit of thing about this. There's so much level of detail on this. It's just crazy how much detail it's got. But he absolutely loves it, and I could see in the future that could go viral. All he needs to do is do an episode which is controversial, exciting. He becomes Premiership, Champion League winner or something like that. And that could go viral, and it's just got so much potential on YouTube. It's just a simple 20 minutes, him playing a few games, doing the background of being a manager, and I found it really, really entertaining and fun that I've watched this afternoon. And this is the thing, something like this is his hobby, he enjoys doing it, he records it, he then puts it on YouTube and lets it just go out. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's a lot of fun, and I would suggest that in the future he might be one of the biggest YouTube stars. I only say that because I've not seen anything like that. There's a lot of people that log on to games and show them on YouTube or on other channels, and that totally, it's not necessarily the newest thing, but I just think the guy's hilarious. So I'll try and find, and I'll hashtag his handle or his YouTube handle so you can see a later stage. But that's been a lot of fun that I've looked at today. So I've talked you through all of those different aspects, and now it's really over to you. I don't really want to talk too much about it anymore because I think you need to make your decision, and you've got to be realistic, and you've got to be like, there's people that have got family that don't prioritise family. It's not their kids, grandchildren, whatever, aren't their priority, and that's fair enough. If you've got a wife who loves the kids, then maybe you don't need to, but I do prioritise my family as much as I can, and so that's important to me, but it might not be to you. So I'm going to stop there and just say, think about it. It's definitely worth a few thoughts, and I'd be interested if you leave me a message on Twitter or on YouTube or on Apple iPod podcasts. If you've got any messages on Spotify or wherever, what you think about it, because it's an interesting concept, and I'd like you all to think about it and come back to me with any comments. Right, so I'm Mark Hayward. This is the Absolute Business Mindset. You can check me out on Twitter, Mark Hayward. YouTube, there's a bunch of short videos, which I would love you to watch and comment on if you've got anything to say. You will find this podcast on iTunes, or on Apple Podcasts. You will find it on Spotify and on Stitcher. So look forward to any comments. Please drop me a line. Also, if you liked this, please tell someone about it. Friend, family, colleague, I don't mind. Tell someone about it. I'd love to get some more listeners. Thank you very much.